So I just saved someone several $1,000s in 6 months of their life. They came to me asking me which PMP bootcamp to take. I told them, don't. They thought I was joking. I wasn't. And if you're about to drop thousands on a certification, thinking that your ticket to $100,000 or that dream six-figure income, right, is with a certification, then we really need to talk. Look, I'm not some guru selling you on a course on how to sell courses. I've spent over 15 years in the trenches. I've done it all: fintech, cybersecurity, hospitality, payment, loyalty program, agencies, you name it. I've hired and I've worked with several project managers in multiple industries and on very many projects. And if the plan is not to complement it with what I'm going to share with you today, you might be wasting your time and money. My name is Janova. I'm co-founder of Javon Technology, and I've been on both sides of this game. I've been the desperate candidate thinking that the right letters after my name will save me. And I've also been the hiring manager, watching people waste years collecting alphabet soup, right? When they could have been making bank with the right strategy. So today I'm going to show you why the certification industrial complex is laughing all the way to the bank, while junior PMs stay stuck. But more importantly, I'm going to tell you what actually gets you to that 150K six-figure income dream of yours. But first, let me show you just how deep this goes. So think about it this way. The project management charges you about $400 for an exam, right? And that's just the appetizer. Training, $200 to $3,500 depending on your location. And then you've got to think about things like books, you've got to think about things like practice exams, practice apps, maybe another 100 or so. For some people, when they run the numbers, they're looking at about 2,000, some say as high as 4,000, which is crazy, but that's the way some people go about this. Now, PMI will tell you that PMP holders earn about 20% more, which is true. And it sounds good, right? But according to the Digital Project Managers, 2025 salary survey, about 65% of project managers don't feel that they're paid what they're worth, despite having certifications. So pretty much if you look at the numbers, the average PM salary barely moved from 2024 to 2025. We're talking of about a 0.61% increase, while inflation was about 2.1, right? So what this just tells you is that all that money may not necessarily be making it to actual paychecks, right? A Reddit user, for example, got their CAPM certification. They applied to over 100 jobs in about 2 months, and they got 0 callbacks, not one. You know what they said? They said, not one employer cares that I have this achievement. But when you look at what's also happening, it gets even spicier. There's a viral LinkedIn article that's literally titled, "Your Project Management Certificate is Worthless." And who's the author? It's a senior PM consultant. He points out that certain certifying bodies, whose names I will not mention, have been lobbying Congress to make their certifications a requirement for government contracts. I want you to just think about that, let that percolate in your skull for a bit. They're not selling you a valuable skill, or that's not the emphasis. They're trying to buy legislative mandates to force you to buy their product. But here's what they don't want you to know. The PMs that I've worked with and PMs I've hired who crushed it, they have 3 things in common, and a certification isn't one of them. I'm not saying you should not get a certification, but don't think that's everything about being an excellent PM. The first thing they have is they've actually saved a company money. I'm not talking about, manage the budget in quote. I mean, they saw waste, they called it out, and they eliminated it. The second thing is they can translate between business stakeholders and technical teams. This is super critical and is a superpower. And they could do this without, a Rosetta Stone or some magic wand. The third thing, and this is the big one, they adapt faster than they certify, especially in the age of AI. I've watched many new age tech companies and startups completely ignore certified candidates because a lot of the methodology is kind of irrelevant to how they actually work. And just think about it. How many tools do you learn that you actually apply as a project manager? So agile, maybe. Waterfall, again, maybe, depending on what the project is about. The methodology that some certifying bodies teach isn't just always relevant in modern organizations. And like I said before, passing the exam doesn't make you a good project manager. It just makes you good at taking that particular test. A good, proper PM is someone with a track record of successfully implementing projects, not someone with a certification. And it's why even PMI will ask you to have some project management experience under your belt before you start to work on getting your PMP. So let's talk about what you do instead. Take that $1,000 or take that $4,000 and build a portfolio of actual impact. And you can do this by volunteering to project manage a project at your current job. And I mean any project. What's important is to document the before and then the after. And then you got to catch things like, did you increase revenue? Did you shorten timelines? Was there some disaster that you averted? That is your case study, and it's worth more than any certificate. The second thing that's also super important is actually learn the tools that companies use. Now, I'm not saying just learn the Scrum Guide or go through PMBOK. I'm saying learn Asana, learn Monday, learn Smartsheets, learn Jira, learn Notion. Pick one or two and master them. Then you can use this to showcase a project that you managed using these tools, and then post it on LinkedIn. Because now, apart from just trying to say I have a PMP certificate, you're using actual projects and results to show you can do the job. Hiring managers search for tool names and not just certification acronyms. The third really powerful, tool or tactic is network with project managers who are where you want to be, not just where PMI or CSM or PSM tells you to be, right? Find PMs making 150K, 200K, and all that kind of jazz, right? Find them out on LinkedIn. Look at their backgrounds. I guarantee you'll find a pattern. They've often worked in many industries. You've seen many career pivots, yes. And maybe, just maybe, they have a certification that they likely got after they were really successful or were already project managers. So stop paying for permission and start building real proof. And if you want to know what I or hiring managers or HR will look for in a PM resume that will make us say yes in 30 seconds, then let me know as well in the comment section. I'm happy to make that video next. So subscribe if you don't want to miss what's coming next. And as always, I'll see you on the next one.